Okay. Right, he was in, but we're not... Oh, please. That's enough of the wolf whistles. That's half the plot in this, because he was taken to a university debating chamber for the motion, the alternative doctor, who does he treat? And that was the first confusion, because some people thought it was a Doctor Who convention. Now, you'll find that Mark is talking for alternative medicine, and there is a very boring student talking for conventional medicine. In fact, she goes on and on and on, and just watch his face as he nearly nods off. The students, all there are, well, they're our players, they're ardent fans, some of whom are desperately in love with him. And Richard, the chairman, this is Richard, is a complete and absolute dork. Well, you could say dork, I couldn't possibly say that. We've also got a sound man who is a complete disaster. Absolute disaster. Keep your eye on the skeleton.
Dr. Mark Porter is a part-time general practitioner, as well as the most famous and good-looking TV doctor since Richard Chamberlain. He's also the team doctor to the Ford World Rally Championship team and medical officer to the Gloucester Golf Club.
Rugby. Golf club.
Is it? Oh, well, beg your pardon.
Same
I suppose
difference.
golf's a rather safer sport, isn't it, Dr. Mark? Anyway, Dr. Porter's going to speak in favour of conventional medicine and against alternative therapies.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak in favour of complementary medicine, the other way around.
I'm speaking for conventional medicine. I couldn't possibly talk about alternative therapy.
So we better get our roles sorted out right from the beginning.
Okay, thanks. Well, sorry about that little slip. In your own time then, Dr. Mark.
Probably the best book you can buy on the subject, and he's no relation of mine. He defined it as the aggregate of diagnostic and therapeutic practices and systems which are separate from conventional scientific medicine. It's usually less interventionist and technical and makes more use of the body's own self-healing capacities. Patients aren't interested in whether their condition is treatable or not. What they want to do is to feel well to start with. That's the most important thing. I think that we have a duty to investigate and embrace any therapeutic approach that benefits our patients, no matter how strange, weird and wonderful it appears at first.
Hear, hear. Thank you very much, Dr. Porter.
Sorry, Chairman, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do think, well, this is a debate about the alternative doctor, is it not? I don't want to seem ignorant.
We're debating medicine here.
The alternative doctor, that's right.
No, I think
it says. My wife, Maureen, well, she's spent hours making these costumes for today.
We're not talking about Doctor Who.
But
you know...
We've come all the way from London. I'm sorry, don't laugh. Spent a lot of money on these costumes, so it's right. It's very silly.
Well, thank you. Anyway, my arguments are for conventional medicine. I'll be a bit more specific with individual therapies that you talked about. Iridology. In a recent copy of Mind, Body and Soul, I saw an ad for effective stress management next to a notice about occultists, secret temples, circles and covens from a leading alternative practitioner and health guru called the Black Cora, right next to the writings of David Icke. So, another point is, my seventh point. In 1927, a US neurologist, Albert Abrams, as it recorded this bioenergy. It's out of difference attack. That's a quote by Dr. Paul Kurtz, an American chairman of the Committee for Scientific Investigation of Claims of Patients with Renal Problems. And they invited iridologists to make diagnosis. By comparison, alternative medicine is nothing more than slip fat foods in these photographs alone. Quite simply, iridology failed the test.
Thank you. Lady in the front row. Do stand up, please.
Dr. Mark, I understand that when you were 4 years old, you saw a doctor in the house, and that was what made you decide to be a doctor.
Well, I did want to be a doctor after watching Doctor in the House, but I don't think that's to the role of complementary medicine. So, no, I've got no urge to act at all.
What do you think about being the next Doctor Who?
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Right,
I'll bear it in mind.
Okay, gentleman in the penultimate row. Right. Another question. Would you like to take your seat, sir? You in the front row, and then the lady right at the back after that. If you'd like to stand up and make them.
Well, I'd just like to say it's really nice to see you in the flesh. But I just want to ask you, now that Anne and Nick's been scrapped, when can I see you on telly?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a fickle world, television, but I shall be back.
I'd just like to say you're every bit as gorgeous in real life.
Thank you very much.
Right, very nice too. Question, lady in the middle at the back. What's your question for Dr.
Well, I was interested in the fact that if you were actually taught about homeopathic medicine, then maybe you'd be more willing to accept it.
Homeopathic medicine, to me, I have a problem with it, is that, I don't know if anybody knows, but it's actually diluted and diluted to nothing. So you were talking about the placebo effect. Isn't it the same as a placebo effect? Because, a placebo is a dummy pill.
Well, is it? I mean, maybe it is.
Well,
maybe it is. I can't. Tim! Maybe it is the same. And just because something's natural does not mean it's safe. And once again, just because something's natural does not mean it's not effective. And I think that's a classic example of how we should be applying conventional, orthodox scientific principles to complementary medicine.
Sorry for the interruption.
Sorry?
Did you finish your point?
Yeah, I think so. Can't remember.
Yes, sir.
What's your opinion on hypnotherapy?
I think it's a waste of time. I think people are being ripped off. I think there's a load of quacks out there that are just, it's very sad. It's very sad for people.
Well, I can't resist a question from that monster.
Is this going on very much longer?
Depends.
Speak up, John.
Have you got anything to contribute to the debate as regards medicine?
The saying goes, 2 hearts beat better than 1. Doctor Who has 2 hearts. Does the doctor think that we could soon have 2 hearts?
He's basically asking that if we... Yeah, you're right. I mean, if we could carry a spare heart, have 2 hearts.
Right.
But where'd you stop?
God. Is there anyone... you all right, Dan?
This is...
Is there a doctor in the house?
Go on, get him a glass of water or something.
Let's have a look.
I've got a feeling that wasn't satisfaction, that was relief it was all over.
It was relief, it was a gotcha. I can tell you, it's the worst nightmare I've ever had. And if it hadn't been a gotcha, I'd never been able to go back to Bristol again.
Mark, a great pleasure, and we got you.
Thank you.